Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight. We bring you the real information and analysis on what's going on with Russia and the BRICS. Now, today I'm going to talk about the ongoing saga of the EU, Ukraine gas transit and Russia. It appears following discussions with the Ukrainian acting president, the Prime Minister of Slovakia has confirmed that Ukraine is prepared to facilitate the supply of Azerbaijani gas through its own territory. However, this development is not met with universal enthusiasm. The logistics of arranging gas supplies from Azerbaijan to Europe through Ukrainian territory have yet to be fully explored, and the most profitable alternative may not be immediately apparent. Now, following his discussion with the Ukrainian acting President Volodymyr Zelensky, Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico announced Ukraine's readiness to act as a transit route for Azerbaijani gas to the EU, suggesting that Slovakia played a key role in reaching this decision. He added that the most beneficial option for Europe would be to resume Russian gas pumping through the Ukrainian territory, which would contribute to a more stable level of energy supplies, which is lacking at the moment. Now, Slovakia maintains its position in the matter, as it stated, will veto the 16th package of new sanctions if the EU does not resume gas transit through Ukraine. It's also threatened to veto the decision on the next financial aid package from the EU to the Ukraine, and this has been a point of contention in the past. However, Hungary didn't exercise its veto over the right of the extension of the previously adopted sanctions, but it did secure a commitment from the EU to continue negotiations with the Ukraine on gas transit and the impossibility of blocking oil transit. Slovakia had previously threatened to halt electricity supplies to the Ukraine if gas transit was halted, but it's remained a theoretical possibility. That said, concerns remain, however, that Ukraine could respond by stopping oil transit from Russia. Now, before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and my website, scobricsinsight.com, and further develop them. You can do this by making a small donation, which is done by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video screen. Everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me, and I'm thanking you all now. And thank you to everybody who's already made donations. I do appreciate them. Slovakia may not fulfil its new threats either, but it's clear that the fight to extend transit has intensified, and the countries that have suffered from the halt in the transit through the Ukraine are beginning to express their position more boldly, according to Igor Yuskov, who's an analyst at the Russian Financial University and a member of the National Energy Security Fund of Russia. He said by agreeing to extend the sanctions adopted back in 2014, at least tried to cover their ass by reaching an agreement with the EU to force Ukraine to resume gas transit to stop the attacks on the Russian gas compressor station of Turkish Stream and Energy, maintain oil gas transit through the Druzhba Friendship Pipeline. The negotiated position of Slovakia and Hungary has improved slightly since the EU has now promised to act as a guarantor that the Ukraine will not stop oil transit in response to Slovakia's actions. Now, the proposed scheme is commendable. However, it does remain to be seen whether the Ukraine will agree to maintain these oil supplies. Ukraine's orientation is more towards Washington than Brussels, and has even been willing to offend European politicians just to appease the Washington position. The situation with Azerbaijani gas has also attracted attention from analysts who have expressed surprise at the developments. The primary concern is the source of the additional 16 billion cubic metres of gas, which is the equivalent to what was pumped through the Ukraine in 2024, or at least 13 billion cubic metres, without considering the 3 billion cubic metres that was allocated to Transnistria and Moldova. Azerbaijan doesn't actually have any excess gas available. Consequently, the proposal does appear to lack feasibility unless you look at other options, and it would only make sense if Azerbaijan were to buy the gas from Russia and supply it exclusively on paper, according to Alexander Frolov, who's a General Director of the Institute of National Energy and Editor-in-Chief of the industry Infotech. Now, in practice, Russian gas will continue to flow through Ukraine, but Azerbaijan will be listed as the owner on the official documentations. Essentially, Azerbaijan will act as an intermediary, receiving a share of the profits, a bit of a cut for its role. I mean, what's likely to happen is that Azerbaijani oil and gas company, SOCA, could reserve the capacities for gas transit through the territory of Ukraine on behalf of Gazprom, just substitute its name. However, the question arises to why does this not simply move to the border of Russia and Ukraine, where the buyers themselves would become the owners of the gas, as in this case Slovakia, and the gas would be pumped through the territory of Ukraine without a third-party intermediary. Now, Yushkov also stated that from Russia's perspective, it's not financially viable to use Azerbaijani gas instead of Russian. It appears that Gazprom will have to terminate all its contracts with Slovakia and others and cede this market share to Azerbaijan. So it remains unclear why Gazprom would choose to pursue this course of action. Well, from Ukraine's perspective, the introduction of Azerbaijani gas, assuming the discovery of its additional volumes, is also illogical. Ukraine's position is it's not allowing gas of Russian origin in to ensure that Russia doesn't benefit financially from these, from the gas. However, if Kiev allows the import of Azerbaijani gas, Azerbaijan will still have to pay Russia for the transit of its gas through Russian territory. So in essence, Russia will once again get revenue, but this time from the gas transit. Not to mention the money it's made from selling the gas to Azerbaijan in the first place. It does appear that Ukraine's actions are a deliberate tactic to gain time while giving the impression of agreeing to some delivery of Azerbaijani gas. Now, the entire situation with Azerbaijani gas is part of its strategy to prolong the negotiation phase and appease Washington. I mean, Ukraine perceives the halt in gas transit as strengthening its negotiating position in a maybe peace process with Russia, and it has a level of pressure on Russia, which is completely wrong. I mean, the EU is encouraging Ukraine to address this independently from Russia, which is advantageous for the Ukraine because it allows the time for the matter to be resolved. In the meantime, the domestic gas crisis in the Ukraine will weaken its position and make it more accommodating to Slovakia. The Ukraine editorial office of the Forbes magazine has reported that Naftogaz of Ukraine has been buying natural gas abroad from anywhere it can get it. Today, imports have reached 100 million cubic metres, but 10 times more is going to be required to ensure uninterrupted supplies throughout the winter. Concurrently, gas reserves in the underground storage facilities are at a critically low level, and they're a quarter lower than they were last year. Now, if there's a frost that hits, these reserves will be completely insufficient to assure a stable winter without imports or consumer disconnection and people freezing. Now, this assessment was by the former head of the operator of the gas transit system in Ukraine, Sergei Makadon. Now, the combination of pressure from the EU on Slovakia, along with the threats of frost, creates a scenario that could potentially lead to the resumption of gas supplies via the Ukraine, whether they are under the name of Azerbaijan or directly from Russia. It will remain to be seen. But the resumption of supplies will alleviate some of the market tension in Europe and allow gas prices to go down marginally. Slovakia and Austria will eliminate some of the risk associated with energy activity. Slovak gas suppliers will resume selling their gas on to their Austrian colleagues, thereby making a few bucks extra profit. Ukraine will receive payment for the transit and will also have a better chance of importing gas from the EU and getting through the winter, which will always eliminate the chance of losing the imported electricity. Now, in turn, Russia is expected to regain a portion of the European market share it has previously lost. So, that's the way it is. So we shall see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, plus the like and share. And if you're feeling generous, you can click on the thanks button and make a donation. And I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.